social impact yet. And one where we could also obtain testimonials from the students directly. We specifically chose Vox Collegiate, a school with very limited funding, filled with students in at-risk situations, and with students who mostly read below their expected grade level, as we knew the school would benefit the most from having their library refurbished through Book Sustain's book donation, in addition to having volunteers come read to them. Book Sustain's very limited amount of volunteers, and with most of them being in high school, it could prevent them from being able to achieve some of their goals, like having volunteers with a more flexible volunteer availability that would allow them to read at the location where they donate their books to. As a team, we wanted to aim to increase their number of volunteers and diversify their volunteer pool. We decided that it would be best to make Book Sustain a post on UCLA's Volunteer Center website under the education module. That way, any student or UCLA club with an interest in volunteering within the education sector could easily have access to their volunteer opportunity. I will now hand it over to Sean to talk about the website revamp.
Thank you, Gracie. We attempted to boost an online presence by creating a new, more effective website. First, testimonials. Most, if not all, leading nonprofit organizations dedicate a significant amount of their website for testimonials and what they have done. We tried to follow their footsteps by creating a dedicated section called Our Impact, which showcases our testimonials as well as Book Sustain's social impact through their activities in our community. Moving on to website revamp, we made Donate button more prominent in the front page, simplifying the donation process and encouraging immediate action. Also, we made a shop page on the website. Beyond these significant changes, we've also polished the website with finer details like incorporating the logo on the front page, improving text visibility, and including statistics of Book Sustain's activity. These thoughtful refinements not only make the website more user-friendly, but also help get Book Sustain's message across more effectively.
Some of our deliverables were to give Book Sustain a way to measure their social impact and to conduct market research. To evaluate the impact, we tracked down Penny Lane, one of the organizations that they donated to. Penny Lane used the books in the lobbies of their buildings for children and adults to use as they waited for appointments. We suggest that Book Sustain continue to follow up with nonprofits they donate to in order to build and measure their social impact. We also research on GuideStar, a website which has all the nonprofits that are required to fill out a 990 tax form, which means they have reached a certain level of revenue generation. We were able to look at the tax forms of the similar successful nonprofits in the space to see how they generated revenue. We're able to see that the majority relied on grants and contributions to continue running their nonprofit. Now, Augustia is going to speak more on a potential revenue generating strategy for Book Sustain, another one of our deliverables.
Great. So one of the revenue generating strategies that we identified was selling used books, which can be done through various platforms. On the top half of the screen, we see popular marketplaces like Amazon, eBay, and Facebook Marketplace, which already have large customer bases. And on the bottom half of the screen, we identified platforms designed specifically for the buying and selling of used books, like AbeBooks, Bookscatter, and Half Price Books. We decided to do some further analysis into the dynamics of what selling books on Amazon would look like for Book Sustain, because Amazon comprises of a very large portion of the used books market. And so we identified that Book Sustain can take either one of two routes: fulfillment by merchant, which would mean that Book Sustain would have to take care of the storage and shipping to the final customer themselves, versus fulfillment by Amazon, where Amazon would take care of the storage and shipping, but of course Book Sustain would have to pay slightly higher fees for Amazon taking care of that. After research and analysis, after identifying pros and cons, we recommend that Book Sustain take the fulfillment by Amazon route, because fulfillment by Amazon is better suited for the selling of lighter items. If items become heavier, then the fees that Amazon charges become especially expensive. But for something like books that are not that heavy, we recommend that Book Sustain take the fulfillment by Amazon option. And now actually looking into what selling a book would look like financially for Book Sustain. So Book Sustain can take either one of two selling plans: the individual selling plan or the professional selling plan. So in the individual selling plan, Book Sustain would incur $0 of monthly subscription fee, but each item that they sell, they would have to pay 99 cents, per item. Whereas in the professional selling plan, there's a monthly subscription fee of $40 and a per item fee of $0. So if Book Sustain expects to sell less than 40 books a month initially, we recommend going down with the individual selling plan. But if sales increase, if they're selling a lot of books, then we recommend switching to the professional selling plan. Now actually looking into the revenue and cost dynamics of selling a book. So if they were to sell a book for $15, the total cost would come out to be $6.24, and you can see all the fees included at the bottom: the referral fee, the individual selling fee, and the estimated FBA fee, which would finally result in a net revenue of $8.76 before shipping to the FBA fulfillment centers.
So now I'll be sharing our final recommendations for Book Sustain going forward. First, we think they should continue to revamp their website by continuing to focus on adding testimonials, measuring social impact, and updating the statistics of work they've done. Next, we suggest applying for grants, since that's how most literary nonprofits gain revenue and contributions. We also believe they should attempt a revenue-generating venue like the one we suggested earlier for selling books. Lastly, while we couldn't measure much of a social impact for Book Sustain with just the book drop-offs, we believe that collaboration opportunities like the one they have coming up to create a library for an elementary school while also joining the reading club will greatly increase their impact. Book Sustain should continue looking for these types of partnerships in the future. Thank you, Book Sustain. We enjoyed working with you these last 10 weeks, and we hope for a successful future for your nonprofit.